Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Morning, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. My name is Joe Faulhaber. I have the honor of being president of Junior Achievement of Greater Cleveland. On behalf of our JA staff, our board of directors, and all of our fabulous event volunteers, welcome students and teachers to our 2019 JA Field Day. We are so excited to have you. To our students today, you'll have an opportunity to learn about some of the careers and companies that make Greater Cleveland an amazing place to work and live. Our hope is that you'll walk away from today's event with the knowledge that so many opportunities lie ahead of you. No matter what your interests or talents are, you can build a successful future, and it starts today. Today, you'll meet a group of people volunteering their time to help you realize that future and remind you that you are this community's next group of leaders. We're excited you're here, and thanks for coming. To our fabulous Junior Achievement staff, we are small but mighty. Thank you so much for all of the effort you put into pulling off this event. We certainly couldn't do it without you. Thank you. Want to thank our sponsors, the City of Cleveland, Deloitte, Huntington Bank, the Cleveland Indians, Key Bank, Ernst & Young, Fifth Third Bank, Rockwell Automation, Ohio Savings Bank, Sherwin-Williams, Union Home Mortgage, the Martha Holden Jennings Foundation, and finally, the Burton D. Morgan Foundation. A couple of quick housekeeping items. On your tables, you'll see in the middle a stand. We are having an Instagram competition today. Students and teachers, please tag your photos on Instagram with the hashtag JAFD19. We'll be giving away a $25 Walmart gift card to the student who captures their favorite memory from today. And we'll do the same for teachers. Teachers, you'll be receiving a $25 Amazon gift card for capturing your favorite moment. A request for our teachers, we want your feedback throughout the day. You and your students will receive evaluations. We ask that you please complete these and have your students do the same. There's a Junior Achievement staff table downstairs in the main career fair area with a green tablecloth. Please turn them in before you leave here today. Next, I'd like to introduce Al DeFranco, my colleague and our Vice President of Development and Programs, who will welcome our keynote speaker to kick off 2019 JA Field Day. Our keynote will be John Gadd. He's a serial entrepreneur, president and CEO of Hot Cards. With that, I'd like to welcome Al DeFranco.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks. Good morning. Oh, ePrep is really excited. You guys are loud over there, right? All right, good. Joe, thanks so much. We're so excited to have you guys here today. Hope you're as excited as we are. I think you're going to learn a lot today. Make sure you get out of your comfort zones, talk to people, make eye contact, shake hands, all that good stuff, okay? Got it? Cool? All right. I'm really excited to have a good friend of mine, John Gadd, as our keynote speaker today. As Joe mentioned, John is the president and CEO of Hot Cards. He is a serial entrepreneur, and he's been an entrepreneur since he started a landscaping company at age 10. He's the pride of Chagrin Falls, as we say. He's founded and co-founded multiple companies in software, print, and marketing. He's currently chairman and CEO of Become Known, a group of marketing and media companies, which includes Hot Cards, Red Space, Sanford Social, MEBL Digital, and Nettle of Cleveland. Throughout his career, he served as strategic counsel to C-level executives and Fortune 300 companies, and frequently speaks on the topics of entrepreneurship, marketing, and culture. One of the reasons we wanted John here today, though, is that he also believes in giving back to his community. And it's something we really want to stress to all of you as you become successful in your jobs that you do, in your careers. We want you to be able to give back and volunteer at organizations like Junior Achievement. But he is a former board member of Big Brothers Big Sisters Northeast Ohio, now Torchlight Youth Mentoring Alliance, East City Lake County, co-chair of Cleveland Rocks New Year's Eve 2014-15, and currently co-chairs the Republican Party of Cuyahoga County's Advisory Council. He's also a board member of the Chagrin Documentary Film Festival, as well as the Chagrin Foundation, and he sits on the marketing committee of the United Way of Greater Cleveland. So he is a really busy guy, but he gives back his time, talent, and treasure to organizations like ours, and he's giving a lot of time today to talk to you about his story and to share that with you. I am proud to welcome John Gad. John?
Thanks, Al. Thank you. See this? Yep, this mic works. Al, thanks again. I appreciate that. And thank you all for being here today. I want to take you back right away to 1996 when I was 10 years old. And I wanted a go-kart so bad. I mean, I had to have this go-kart. And I was telling my mom about this, the incredible single lady who raised me. And she said, John, if you want a go-kart, go out and work for it. And that's how my first company, Top Blade Landscaping, was formed. Now, I say company because it wasn't really a traditional company. I certainly didn't pay taxes. Not that any of us try to do that today. I mean, we have to, but we try to avoid it. And I paid my employees in a very unconventional currency. It was my mom's cinnamon toast. True story, my buddies, my neighborhood buddies would work with me all day in the blazing hot sun, pulling weeds, mowing lawns, as long as there was a steaming hot pile of my mom's warm and buttery cinnamon toast waiting for them at the end of the day. Which, if you ask them about that today, they feel like they got ripped off. But at the time, they were really happy. They loved it. And I can tell you my teams today don't accept cinnamon toast as payment. They want the Benjamins. So I want to share with you about my entrepreneurial journey, which started with that landscaping company at 10 years old. But I don't want to necessarily go through every achievement or every industry I've been in. I want to talk more about the single most important tool that I've ever used to grow my career. And this is a tool that no matter what industry you're going into, entrepreneurship, it doesn't matter. This tool applies. And that is accepting challenges as an opportunity to grow. So what do I mean by this? First of all, we all have challenges. All of us. We'll feel like life dealt us a bad hand. Things are going to come at us that we didn't expect. We're going to make really big mistakes that we wish we didn't make. We're all going to have challenges. But how we deal with those challenges is what defines us. It's what defines our character. So these challenges that I call, again, opportunities to grow, came at me from a very young age. I was born, again, to that single mom. My dad wasn't in the picture from day one. He left our family when I was first born. Now, I could have used that to make up every excuse in the book as to why I couldn't achieve in life. Why I wasn't going to be able to do this, or I wasn't going to be able to do that, or things just weren't going to work out my way. But I didn't. You know, thankfully, my mom put me into this program called Big Brothers Big Sisters. Anybody heard of it? Anybody in Big Brothers Big Sisters? Put your hand up. Couple? Awesome, awesome. So Big Brothers Big Sisters led me to what would become my mentor, a man named Frank, and that man changed my life. Frank was a man who taught me how to be a man when there was nobody else in my life to do that. That man made me who I am today. He was a big part of making me who I am today. And I'll be forever grateful to that man and to that program. So there was a challenge being born into this circumstance that ended up turning into an incredible opportunity to grow. Now, I didn't know it at the time. I didn't know that I was growing from this experience, but I was. Later on in life, in my teenage years, I got mixed up in drugs and alcohol, and it did a number on my life. I got in a lot of trouble. I got kicked out of high school a private military high school that I worked really, really hard to get into. Really hard. My mom sacrificed a lot to get me in there. I was on a full scholarship. We didn't have any money. And I got booted out. Booted out. And I thought my life was over, like literally over. And after a few more run-ins with the law and some other circumstances, I ended up getting sober when I was 17 years old. It was June 25th, 2003. And I share this because I think it's a really important experience that I went through, that I said, I'm not going to let this hold me back. Now, I've been an active member of recovery ever since, and it has changed my life. It's made me the man that I am today. And I'm grateful for that experience in making me who I am today. Again, another challenge that turned into an incredible opportunity to grow. As I eventually got into business, though, I found out that these challenges come at you every single day, every day. But by this time, I realized something. I realized finally that I was growing from these challenges. Every single challenge that came my way, I was getting something out of. And it's kind of like when you heat up steel and you beat on it, that's how you make steel stronger. So with every challenge that was coming at me, I was becoming a better leader, and I was becoming a better businessman. In fact, I started to embrace these challenges. I wanted more because I wanted to grow. I embrace challenges so much today that when I'm not being faced with them, I get a little nervous. I'm like, things are going a little bit too good right now. I might be rusting. So as I went through my business career, I've had, and I'm still going through it, I've had businesses fail. I've had businesses succeed. But the ones that failed are the ones where I learned the most. I learned what not to do next time. And when I'm going through something like that, I embrace it. Not that I'm excited, not that I am happy, joyous, and free when I'm going through those situations, but I know deep down in my heart that this experience is going to make me stronger, and that helps me get through those challenges. So as you go out from here today and you start thinking about what career path you want to take in life, whether it be entrepreneurship or maybe the trades or accounting or education or the arts, whatever it is, you are going to face challenges. Let me say that again. You are going to face challenges no matter what you do in your life. Now, I don't want that promise that I'm making to you today to be disheartening, to be scary, to be, oh my gosh, I'm like, this guy gave this keynote and I walked out of here depressed, I'm going to have a terrible life, I got all these challenges. I want you to realize that those challenges that we all face in our life are our greatest opportunities for growth. And what I want you to do is I want you to walk out of here today realizing that if you have the mindset of a person who embraces those challenges, who says, I see you challenge, I'm facing you head on, and I'm going to grow from you, that I guarantee whatever path you take in life, you're going to thrive. That's my promise. Thank you very much. I appreciate this. The best of luck to all of you. And Al, I think we're going to turn it back over to some Q&A.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, John, so we want to take some questions from the students. John's really humble, as you can tell, but he likes to answer questions from students rather than it be all about him. It's one of his endearing qualities. So think about questions that you have. But one of the things I talked about a little bit earlier was kind of shaking hands, eye contact, and the power of networking. Can you touch on that a little bit, John? And you guys, while he's answering this, think of questions. That's the only question I'm asking him. So you guys think of questions. Go ahead, John.
And no holds bar. I love any question.
Yep.
But that's a great point. That looking people in the eye, shaking their hand firmly, it can be a game changer in your career path. When you're going in for that interview, that old adage, first impressions are everything, it is true. But I will tell you, the most important thing that an employer is going to look for, whether they know they're looking for it or not, but they know it when they see it, is that handshake and that eye contact. Make that eye contact, even if it feels uncomfortable. Practice it. Practice it with your friends. Practice it with your parents. Practice it with your aunts, your uncles. Practice it. Because life is all about practice. None of us are really born, maybe LeBron was born an incredible basketball player, but he practiced a lot too. We all have to practice these things. So that's a great one. I love that, Al. Got a question?
They're thinking. Okay,
over there's here. One in the back there.
Where we go. All right. Yep. There we go. Hold on. Tell us your name and what school you're from, Tyler.
My name is Tyler Moss, and I'm from the School of Innovation.
Hey, Tyler.
Good school, Tyler. Thanks. When you were a child, did you expect that you would fall into the career path that you are in today?
That is actually a really great question. No, not at all. So I've always thought of myself as an entrepreneur since that landscaping company at 10. But believe it or not, I wanted to be in the CIA. I literally wanted, that's why I went to military school, because I said, I'm going to go into this military school. I made that decision at 12. And then I'm going to go to West Point, and then I'm going to go into the service as a commissioned officer, and then I'm going to eventually go to the CIA. I read every CIA book there was. I saw every James Bond movie there was to see, and I wanted to be a secret agent. But when I got booted out of military school, I knew my chances of West Point were gone. And again, challenges being opportunities to grow, it ended up segueing me into a career path that I wouldn't trade for the world.
My name's Emiliana, and I'm from ePrep Willard, and my question is, what was the most challenging part of your career, and what do you think that's going to happen in the future?
Thanks, Amelia. That's a great one. You know what? The most challenging part, especially of being an entrepreneur, is just the unknown. And we face that really in any career that we go into, but there's a lot of unknown as an entrepreneur. Am I going to make payroll? Is this product we've been working on going to end up selling? Is something going to hit my company? We're in the tech business. Is something going to take down our website and destroy our company tomorrow? And you just have to get really, as my dear mom would say, you have to get comfortable living in the gray. You have to get comfortable living in the unknown. That I think will still continue to be always my biggest challenge, but also something I'm really dialed into and constantly thinking about. Thanks for that.
Hello, my name's Brody Gardner.
Hey, Brody.
So I actually have a question for you. What was it? Sorry, I'm a little
Very good.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about going into politics or working in somewhere in that field?
Well, I talk about my mom a lot, don't I? She should be up here. She always says, John, you want to be holding the carrot, not chasing the carrot. So I don't want to be chasing the carrot as a politician, so to speak. But I think God blessed me with an opportunity to really make an impact in entrepreneurship and through what I'm doing. And that, I think, is the path I want to continue on. Yeah, great question.
I am Daniel Samrak from the School of Innovation.
Hey, Daniel.
Did having business connections help your future, like being able to call in anybody to help you?
It did, but I want you to know that I had this many business connections when I started. And by that, I don't mean 3, I mean 0. I had 0 business connections. And that is something that a firm handshake and making eye contact will help you build. And it takes time. It takes doing right by people, having integrity, following through on what you said you would do. It takes networking. It takes being out, in the public and forming those relationships. Today, I would say the most valuable asset that I have in my business career are relationships, are those connections now that have been fostered over, for me, 15, 16, 17 years. Great question.
Down right here.
Yep.
I'm Carmela Samich from the School of Innovation.
Hey, Carmela.
What was your most successful business or company, and why do you think it was so successful?
So I would say on paper, Hot Cards, which is a design and printing company that many of you might have heard of, has been an incredible success, and for a lot of reasons. It's a very sort of public brand, where some of my other companies were way less public. They were more B2B, business to business, and people that know about it. And it's been a very, very exciting journey. But I will say the businesses where I learned the most, again, were the ones that didn't make it. I had a software company that really was a failure, and I learned so much from that experience that I would go back through that entire journey just to have that all over again, even knowing how it was going to end up.
Hello, I am Olivia from the School of Innovation.
Hey, Olivia.
What are the most valuable things you learned from failing businesses?
Yeah, great question. And it's really simple. You really learn what not to do next time. I think Albert Einstein has a quote. He says, make new mistakes. So you're going to make mistakes. just make sure they're new ones. They're not the same ones that you've made over and over. I also learned, too, that you can get through anything. You know, that adage, this too shall pass. You will always get through anything. And having gone through those experiences, I can look back on it when I'm going through something else challenging and say, hey, no matter how it turns out, I'm still going to get through this. I'm still going to be okay.
My name is Caden. I'm from
Hey,
Willard.
Caden.
My question is, what made you drive so hard? Like, what made you want to be an entrepreneur so bad?
That's a great question. And I think, first of all, I had a really strong work ethic that was just instilled in me from not only my mother, but a lot of the people in my life around me. But I just have this drive. I love to build. You know, I want to build something great that ultimately can give back. You know, even in the business itself, I take very seriously what impact it's making on the people that work for us, the people that I work with on a day-to-day basis. And I've been able to see people start in our company and single guy and builds up, you know, some business and starts making some money and gets married and eventually has some children and buys their first house, or a young lady who really had no direction in life has now become an incredibly, you know, direction-filled person who is an incredible, you know, asset to our organization. I love seeing people develop more than anything. I mean, at a certain point, you stop worrying about the numbers and counting the numbers, and you start worrying a lot more about the people around you. And that's what entrepreneurship has let me do.
Hi, I'm Eric Walters. I'm from
Here.
Lewis F. Mayer Middle School. What is the greatest mistake you have made, and what is the worst mistake you've made?
Interesting. The greatest and the worst mistake. Well, so the greatest mistake I made, believe it or not, was probably the first time I got wrapped up in drugs and alcohol. And I say that very seriously because it truly led me to the life that I have today. And again, a really, really, really big challenge, a really, really horrible thing for my family to have to see and for me to have to even go through. But because I looked at that challenge, you know, head on and used it as my opportunity to grow, it has been enormously transformative in my life, and again, really made me who I am. I don't know of like the worst mistake that I've made per se, but I will tell you, I think about this in business very often. The worst mistake that I can make is always just thinking that whatever's in my head is exactly right, and blocking out people around me who are trying to give me guidance and coach me and give me suggestions. So I work very, very, and that's, for me, you know, I can think I'm the smartest guy in the room. If I grade my own paper, I always get an A. So I have to be really careful to let other people grade my paper and really gut check things against them and get their guidance. And that's why, you know, in whatever you do, especially in business, you want to surround yourself by people that are smarter than you. So again, the worst mistake I can make is thinking I have all the answers.
I'm Sadie from the School of Innovation, and
Sadie.
I would like to know how many businesses you founded or co-founded and how many of those have been successful.
I would say it's probably, success is a very subjective word, but I would say it's probably close to 10 now. And greater than 60 or 70% of those have been successful or certainly on their way to being successful. So a lot of them over the past couple of years, we're still growing, we're still incubating. There's still a lot of work to go, but they're very, very promising.
Hi, my name is Tyson Crandall. I'm from Lewis F. Mayer Middle School, and I just want to know, being an entrepreneur, what was the toughest part of building a company from the ground up?
Thanks, Tyson. The most challenging part of building a company from the ground up was assembling the right team, for sure. And what happens as an entrepreneur, especially in a startup, if you bring the wrong person onto the team very early on, it can be very devastating to the business. I love the saying, get the right people on the bus and then figure out where to drive it. And so I'm very, very focused on finding these right people to join me, especially early on in a company, because I know we're going to have twists and turns, and we're going to need the right people there who can adapt, and not everybody can. And it's a huge challenge, though, because you'll think somebody is that person, to get them on the team and find out when things get tough that they're not. And I do think having the right people, outside of having a lot of money that you can just blow, because money fixes a lot of things in business, the people are the most important part of making sure you can fix any challenge that you're facing along the way. Hey, oh, we got another, okay.
My name's Jaya Williams.
Hey, Jaya.
I go to the school E-Prep, and my question is, if you could look back, what was one mistake that you would want to take back from your childhood?
One mistake that I would want to take back, and I hope this doesn't sound too cliche, but I wouldn't take any of them back. I'm a big believer that God has put all of us on a certain path in life, and that everything, literally everything, including the big mistakes I made, which were probably not His will for me, were still critical to getting me to where I am today, making me who I am today. And truthfully, that's a mindset thing. You might think you've got a mistake that you wish you could take back. A lot of people might think that. You might be 70 years old and say, I've got all these mistakes I wish I took back. I hope that when I'm 70 years old, I'm still believing that there isn't a single thing that I would take back, because again, it's made me who I am.
I'm Charlotte Riffle from the School of Innovation, and my question is what has been your favorite business that you've been a part of in your career?
Business.
Yeah, favorite business. That I love them all. I think hot cards is the answer to that one, though. I really do. And we've just done some really cool stuff with hot cards. I think it maybe was in the program, but I'll share a little story. In 2013, it was about a year into the business. A group of investors and I had acquired the business and needed to be turned around. It was struggling. And so we actually, again, acquired the business. We were about a year and a half into it, and we really needed to tell the world that we were here. We were here. And when I do things like this, or I want to do something of, on the scale of what we were thinking about to tell the world, we always like to try to package it with a charitable cause too. So we ended up setting a Guinness World Record for the most number of people doing full body burns simultaneously. So believe it or not, we lit 21 people on fire. I know it sounds crazy. It was very safe, don't worry. We lit 21 people on fire in the flats of Cleveland, and we set a Guinness World Record. And it made international news. I mean, it was on every single TV station, every single newspaper. We trended on Google. I mean, it was just absolutely insane. We still talk about it every day. So, I can check that off the list. We talked about the burn today. But if you Google it, Google hot cards burn, and there's a whole bunch of really cool content out there. And that's just been, to be a part of that kind of stuff, and we raised $10,000 for charity, which was just an awesome opportunity to give back to some really important causes. It was a very cool experience. Anyone?
Andrew from Ohio Savings Bank.
Hey, Andrew.
What was the strongest factor you would say when you were in your teens that led to your substance abuse?
So the strongest factor, I think, really just goes back to people. I was around the wrong people. And I'm telling you, I had, if you haven't heard yet today, my mother is a saint. And really, all the family members I had were really incredible people. But as I got older and older and older, I started surrounding myself with the wrong people. And a lot of my fears in life, a lot of my insecurities, a lot of my vulnerabilities were at risk when I started surrounding myself with people who were doing the wrong thing. So if I can really answer that question with a recommendation, is that you all really should check the people that you're hanging around. Plain and simple. You are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So think about the 5 people you spend the most time with, because you are them. And if that doesn't get you excited, you need to think about putting yourself in a new group of friends. As tough as that may be, it'll change your life.
Before you were talking about challenges, and I want to know what really drove you to get through them.
Well, a lot of things drive me to get through them, and a lot of those challenges at a young age, I wasn't really aware that I was going through them, or had this really dialed in focus on facing challenges like I do today. And I think that was God's grace just carrying me through them back then. But now there's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons to be driven to do that. You know, I've got a child, I've got a family, I've got people who count on me. And I cannot let them down. They didn't sign up to be on the John Gadd train for it just to, you know, putter out halfway through when things get tough. You know, that my responsibility is to push through these challenges at all costs because I owe it to them. And that's really what gets me through it.
I'm Giselle from ePrep Willard.
Hey, Giselle.
As an entrepreneur in Cleveland, how do you give back to the community?
Well, besides the $10,000 speaking fee that Al's giving me today,
Right.
this is one. No, these are ways to do it. You know, these are ways to do it. It's not, you know, this takes time. It's not necessarily comfortable, but I know that I have experiences that I've been through that hopefully can help other people. You know, I mentor a lot of people in recovery. I mentor a lot of people who are starting out in entrepreneurship and business, and I share what limited experience I can, because there's a lot of more successful entrepreneurs they could be talking to, but if I can share something with them, that's one way of doing it. So there's so many opportunities to give of your time, and that's the most valuable thing that I can give anybody is my time.
My name is Lovely, and I want to know, what do you want to accomplish with your companies?
It's a lovely question, Lovely. Thank you. I want to accomplish really what we're accomplishing already and just continue to take it to the next level. So as I talked about earlier, I love being able to see people develop in my business. I love our businesses being able to financially give back to the community, and we just want to really, truly be able to do more of that on a greater scale. And I know if we kind of keep our eyes on that the profits and all that other stuff is going to come along with it.
All right, my name is Dantes, and I go to ePrep Willard.
Hey, Dante.
How can you stay on track in school to reach your goal? Like, what is tips?
How to stay on track to reach your goals?
In school. He said in particular in school. That's a good question.
Yeah, so and really this tip is for anything you're trying to do. Write it down. Write your goals down. I love to write down, you know, I have a to-do list, so to speak, of things I'm working on right now, but those are goals. But then I like to write down 1-year goals. I like to write down 5-year goals. I like to write down 10-year goals. And I look at those every single morning. Every single morning when I get up, I review those. And they change. They definitely change and modify all the time. But if you have to, I think Dale Carnegie said this, begin with the end in mind. If you don't have those goals written down, you're wandering. You're aimless. You got to write them down. And again, think 5 years, 10 years, 20 years out. I want to have a family. I want to have a house and a mortgage one day. And put these things down, because the decisions you're making today are going to be what get you there 20 years from now. I promise you that. The decisions you make today matter for your 20-year goals.
My name's Ashley. I'm from Lewis F. Mayer Middle School. You've probably made a lot of mistakes over the course of your life. If you could take any of the mistakes you think you've made in your career back, would you?
Yeah, and I would not take any of them back. You know, it kind of relates to a question earlier. I wouldn't take any of them back. And I know that may sound cliche, but every single mistake that I've made has really made me who I am, which I'm grateful for at this point. Now, doesn't mean I'm content. I want to continue to grow, and I work on growing every day, but I truly am grateful for the way that my mistakes have shaped my life. Now, if I made a bunch of mistakes and I refused to learn from them, maybe I'd say I wish I didn't have that or that or that. But every mistake I made, I grew from. It was actually a valuable situation. It was a valuable experience to go through. So, great question.
All right. I am so proud of you guys. I was worried about questions, and we got way more than we had time for. Big round of applause for John Gadd. Thank you so much, John.
Thank you all very much.
That was fantastic.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching TV 20. We are Cleveland.